Well, the Union Pacific Railroad was completed through this part of Wyoming in 1868 and finished, of course, over in Promontory, Utah in '69. And the Sweetwater Mines, or the South Pass Gold Rush, started in the fall of 1868. And this station, for some reason, the people that owned or started this line waited until the 1880s. In fact, it was 1880 they started this stagecoach line through here, and it ran just a little over a year and wasn't too profitable because of the mines being closing down at that time. And then in 1883 they started a line from Rawlins into Lander, which was starting to boom, and the gold rush was practically over. But this was the first station west of the Union Pacific Railroad at Point of Rocks, which was the home station for the stage line. This is called Radors Spring. Black Rock Creek is just beyond me, right out in front of me there. The next station would be on west of here, and I've never heard a name for it. Chicken Springs is the closest big spring to it, but it was located right down on the desert floor instead of up where the springs was. They had to climb a pretty steep hill and come back down it if they went to the spring. From that station they went to Oregon Slough and had a station right at Oregon Slough, and then from there it was on into South Pass City. So this one was closed in sometime in '81. I'm not sure the direct or the exact month, but if you would have been riding this stagecoach or eating here, this is about what one of your cans would have looked like. And you wouldn't have had a can opener in your pocket other than a knife, so here's how you opened it. And I found this in the early '60s right up the Stagecoach Trail there a little ways, and there was 3 or 4 more of them scattered up through there. And you can see the sorter ring here. This might be why you've seen some odd characters back in them days, because of all the lead in this can. This is a bottle that would be representative of that time period. This one never came from here, but it's what would have been, if we'd have found a complete bottle, it would have been about like this bottle. The soda content in the glass over a period of time will react with the acid in the soil and give it this opic, it's a deterioration of glass is what it actually is. And it can be called opalescence. The clear bottles will opalize more so than these, and the real black ones will not turn opalescent at all. It is the only place that we find a foundation. The next 2 stations there's no foundation marks. So it's very possible that they just had maybe possibly a double wall tent on a frame structure. But there's no foundation signs. There is some rock at one time at the next station that looks like they could have been sort of a foundation, but no sign of any building material. I don't know if they would have dug a well at this place. I know that at some places they did have wells. Dry Sandy Station, for instance, is just a big dry wash, but the wife and I was there about this time of year, and I got to digging around down on the edge of the sandy wash and realized I was in an old well structure that was boxed in with juniper from local juniper trees. But it was amazing. It looks like a dry wash, and the same way as Jack Morrow. Be dry, but if you dig down, you'll hit water. If they had the typical stagecoach that you see in the movies, the old Concord stage, which I doubt that they would have had anything that fancy, it could have been just a plain old wagon with a cover of some type over it, but probably they had a 4-horse up. They didn't have that steep of hills to climb, and probably not that many passengers. Freight would vary. I doubt if they'd had that much freight, so I would suspect that they would never use over 4 horses for a team. And typically they like to go around 9 to 10 miles between stations for change of horses. And terrain like from here to Point of Rocks, they'd probably average 9 miles an hour. And rougher country, it'd be a little slower. But where they could, they trotted those horses. And them horses could trot for 8 to 9 to 10 miles, especially if they had enough of them for the load. Change of horses didn't take them long. The station keeper was supposed to have the team ready to go if they wasn't stopping for meals. He had the next team, and they just unhooked that team, and they all had their own harness. They didn't have to change the harness because the collars and everything was matched to your horse. So the next team was prepared to go. You know, you're aware of how this country is. Your ridges will blow completely snow-free. Places like this will fill in, but horses can buck quite a bit of snow, even pulling a wagon and so forth. So I'm sure that they ran winter and summer. I know that the one from Point of Rocks, or from Rawlins to Lander, was year-round operation. Even in January they was running. It took real bad conditions for them not to go on.